Hey there, everybody. I am so sorry. Here we are. It's recording. And you were probably waiting for the live version, and I apologize for the big mix-up. I totally gapped the fact that I had registered for the webinar that was talking about the Canadian currency tonight at 8:30. So I'm going to try to really condense some of the beginning week stuff so that I can get this done before 8:30. And many of you are probably wanting to tune into that as well. So I will be posting this in our page for you to review when you have a chance. And anyway, it just worked out for me tonight to do it now rather than at 9:30 when I said that I might try to do it right after the webinar. But I know that by the time 9:30 comes around, and if I do this training until 10:30, I will be wired and wide awake, and I need to get up early tomorrow. So I'm going to try to call it a night after the webinar that the Canadian dollar is being talked about. So anyway, let's just get started really quickly here. I am going to be sharing my screen with you so that you can see what it is that I've prepared for this webinar. And each week it is going to be slightly different. Some weeks we're going to be completely on the phone, and I'll always give you a heads up and update. But I do find that webinars work well because you can actually see the visuals. When I talk about certain websites or tools that I use that I would recommend that you might take a look at, they might be useful to you. It's always nice to have that visual rather than just hearing it on the phone. So when I can, I'm going to do the webinar. The only thing about it that I don't like so much is the fact that we don't always have the opportunity to have communication going back and forth. That is something, though, as I look at my screen, that I am going to be looking into to see if I can actually change that so that we can have communication. I know with Google Hangouts, which is what I'm using, we do have the option to have other people shown down at the bottom of the screen and people that can communicate, but it's just very limited to the numbers of people that can actually communicate that way, which is why I thought at the end of most of our sessions, I may just do a quick on the phone, 10, 15 minutes question and answer period for anybody who does want to communicate afterwards, which at that point I would still record the Google Hangout so that people can still hear the questions being asked and the answers given, so that if you don't have a long distance plan, you can still listen to those things. Of course, the Facebook group, the whole point of that is so that you guys do have that place to ask questions, post comments, get support, not only from me, but everyone else in that group. We're all starting from a new level, a different level. Some of us are brand new, some of us are seasoned, we're veterans in this business, but we just need a refresher. So it's really, the whole purpose of this is really for every single person, where no matter where you are right now, if you're learning for the first time, great, this is for you for sure. If you've been here for a little while and you've taken part in some other MIT training calls in the past with myself or other leaders, it might be the opportunity that you have right now to think of, how would I run this MIT series if I was training it? Because truly what the biggest thing that we learn in this business is, as we teach others, we continue to increase our skill level and understand even more than what we can when we sometimes just take it all in. So teaching is definitely another level of learning. So anyway, guys, let's get started. I'm going to try to share my screen here. Bear with me. All right. This is where I think, oh my goodness, do I have what I need to do here? I'm going to try this. I really hope this works. And if it doesn't, I'm going to have to redo it, but let me see. All right, something tells me, oh gosh, I hope you can see this. Sorry guys, bear with me. I know that I do this every single time, and I never know for sure if what I'm sharing is, I think I need to do desktop. I'm going to try this again. All right. So clearly, if you're not seeing this, I apologize, and I will re-record this, but right now I'm hoping that you're seeing this. You should see a cute little girl on the top with also a really fuzzy description or diagram of what it looks like for this business. So I always like to start off with this because some of you are in that 1 to 2 year range, and it is going to feel like a lot of effort for little results. And, you know, some people I hear come into this business with an idea that within a year, if they're not making X amount of dollars, they're not going to continue. And that's probably the biggest mistake that people make, is that they have a timeline on their success. And, you know, if you look at overall business, not network marketing business, but traditional business, you're not going to necessarily find that within the first year or two that you're going to be making huge amounts of profit. So I don't know why people put that expectation on themselves in this business. It is still a business. It is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It is definitely going to take some work. So I always like to show this because, you know, don't put a timeline on it. I know Susan Sly, when I heard her the first time, she talked about how she was committed to putting 7 years into this business. Stay on auto ship for 7 years, and she was willing to make it work in 7 years. And if in 7 years she wasn't doing very well, then she might consider rethinking it. So really give yourselves some extra time. You might even see that 2 to 4 years is where the ball is starting to roll. But keep in mind, that's only going to start to roll if in the first 1 to 2 years you're actually putting the efforts in. And what does the effort look like? We're going to talk about that a lot in this MIT course over the coming weeks. And really what it looked like for me was about 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. And I will be discussing with you what those things are that I was doing in those 2 hours. But, you know, that 2 to 4 years, getting the ball rolling, just getting up that hill, right? You're feeling that you're up at the top, and you might just start to see some residual income really start to roll in. That will only happen if you're putting that effort in at the beginning. So, and being consistent is huge. Of course, critical mass, where your income really does become residual, is usually around that 4 or 5 year mark. And for some people it happens sooner, for some people it happens much later. But keep in mind, every single person has a different level of skills, a different level of background, a different level of action, a different level of learning and understanding. So, you know, not everyone is created equal, and I don't want anyone to ever compare or compete against other people, because really what we're looking to do is become better than we were yesterday ourselves. So let's move forward here, if I can. Now this MIT has been created, and I've also obviously added some things and taken some things out just based on, you know, when this was created. But Susan Sly is amazing. She is a mother of 4 children. She also has 1 adopted child from another country who still lives in her home country. But Susan and Chris are just a wonderful couple, and they are from Ontario actually, but they now currently reside in Arizona. Now, I do believe that these are incorrect numbers. At the top, it talks about her 14-star Platinum Circle, 11-star Crystal Executive. I have not changed that because I don't actually know her current numbers, but she's always improving and increasing her levels, just like many people. But she is also an author of some wonderful books. I actually have read all of her books, and I just adore the content in there, and I really adore her. And she's been even on, you know, some TV shows and some talk shows, and she's traveled the world, and she's, you know, she does a lot around the world just to help people. And I won't get into a lot of her story right now, but I do want to just give credit to her for all that she does for all of us in Team Success. And if you're watching this, chances are you are in Team Success. And even if you're not, that's okay. We all are here to help everybody, no matter what team they're on. We call that Team Green. So thank you, Susan. All right, so accountability. What is accountability? Some of you are coming here with an idea of what accountability looks like for you. And I will say to you that the first time I did this MIT call, it was on a conference line once a week, and we did it for about 12 weeks, maybe even 16 weeks. And that's why I said to you, I'm not going to put an end date to this, because I do feel that some people really want the accountability portion, and we still continue to learn through the accountability as well. But I wanted to make this optional because I do believe that not everyone feels motivated or feels good about accountability, but I do want to explain what that looks like for you, because it might be something you're interested in. For me, it really helped because I am the type of person who if I don't have someone to be accountable to, I tend to just kind of do my own thing. And I do well doing my own thing, but I do even better when I've got someone to report to in a way. Not to say I'm reporting to a boss, because I actually really do not like that feeling, but it always felt as though I had a choice, even though I was really at the beginning told, if you don't do this accountability, basically, don't waste our time. Now, that's not what I'm saying to you, because I do believe that everyone is in a different place, and I want you to design the accountability that works for you. So that's why I've got a little thing there that says it starts with you, because it really does start with you. It's up to you what you want your accountability to look like, and we are going to talk a bit more about what that looks like, but I'll tell you what it was for me. Back in 2009, in the fall, when I got really serious about this business, I decided to link arms with Mike Dallaire and Robin Bigley. And they were hosting an MIT call once a week. Like I said, it was for about 12 to 16 weeks. And I felt so incredibly passionate about holding true to what they asked for. And at that time, it was simply 3 connections a day. 5 days a week. And I had to get those connections into them. So it was a simple email, and it just said, Tara's accountability and the date. So today, I would put today's date. I had to have it in before midnight. And if I didn't, that day did not count. So, I had a little notebook. I still have that little notebook. It was small. And in that notebook, every single day, I had the date, and I had the names of each person that I connected with. And I had a much more detailed description of what each person and I talked about, but for the sake of the accountability portion, that's all they needed, was just the date, so today's date, and the 3 people I connected with. Now, what does that look like? Well, connections could have been at that time anything from talking Isagenix at all. So I might have shared a video with somebody, I may have talked to someone on the phone, I may have talked to someone through Facebook, I might have, any connection with anybody about Isagenix. And even just now, before I started this, I was connecting with someone that's been following me, she said, for like 7 years. And she's finally now really interested in learning more. So, you just never know who's watching. And that's another thing we're going to talk about, is our online presence. Because if you're not embracing online resources and social media, you are probably not reaching the capacity that you could in your business. So we're not going to talk about that right now, but I just want to let you know that there are many ways that you're actually connecting with people every day that you don't even probably realize. So, ask yourself these questions. Where do you stand? Are you a victim? Do you blame others? Do you have excuses all the time? Like, oh, I couldn't connect with so-and-so, or I don't have enough people to contact. I never get out and meet people. I have a home-based business, or I stay at home with my kids and I never have communication with other people. Well, you know what? Here's the thing. If you've got all these excuses and you're blaming circumstances, situations, hoping for something to change, then chances are you're going to stay in that victim mentality. And if you're accountable and you know that you deserve to free yourself with the help of Isagenix, then you're going to acknowledge it, you're going to own it, and you're going to find the solutions to make those things change for you. So let's start moving into that direction. If you're not there right now, it really does start with you, and you can make a decision. I mean, we can't have excuses that live on the same street as, success. So if you want success, you've got to get rid of those excuses. And I've got something on my whiteboard beside me that says, can't lives on won't street. So there are times when, if you say you can't do something, I can't get into social media, I can't meet people, I can't connect with people, then truly you're not going to. It just means that you won't, and you're not willing. So let's make a change right now to decide that you are going to be accountable to yourself, for sure, number one. That's most important. And if you'd like to have accountability with me, then decide what it is you want to be accountable to do. Maybe it is that you want to connect with 3 people a day. Now, that was the minimum, right? For us at that time, that was the minimum. Your minimum might be 1 person a day, 5 days a week. That's fine. It might be a minimum of 2 new connections a day and 2 follow-ups a day. Design what your minimum is. Don't make it too big and out of control, because we know that if we have such a big goal and we fail at hitting that goal a couple days in a row, we tend to want to drop out or disengage. So I don't want you guys to disengage. I'd rather you be successful reaching your minimum goal and then, you know, working your way up if that is the case. But at least you're successful each day with your minimums. And I still remember it was like a competition with myself, because I was only competing with myself to get those 3 contacts in a day. And that was, you know, it was awesome to say that I had done that. Now, when you look at, and we're going to talk about this, but when you look at that 90-day game plan, if any of you have thought about that or done it before, or you're looking to do it now, we are going to discuss that. But really, my beginning, when I did that MIT call series with Mike and Robin, it really was like a 90-day game plan, because I was accountable to them for 90 days and possibly even a little bit more, but 90 days for sure. And that was the beginning of momentum for me. But as you'll see soon, you'll see my numbers in my first year, second year, third year, and so on. And you will notice that, you know, my years, that first 90 days did not happen to, you know, create massive momentum for me. But in the long term, when I look back at that initial 90 days that I spent, the majority of my growth really has stemmed from there. Obviously, it takes time, so never give up. You know, the only way to fail is to quit. So those are just things to keep in mind. And as far as the accountability, just going back to that, you know, you can communicate with me through leadership@taracooper.ca, or you can go into that Facebook group that you're currently part of, and you can, you know, send me messages through there, or even be accountable to the whole entire team, the whole group in there. So if you'd like, you know, just keep it as open as you'd like or as private as you'd like. It's really up to you. I want you to design what your accountability looks like for you. All right, so let's take a look at our action steps and our outline for the coming weeks. I clearly did set out some, you know, steps for you guys. If you're just seeing this for the first time, you might not have even been in the Facebook group yet, so feel free to check that out. But I just wanted everyone to be prepared with a binder. There's a few things in that preparing for this MIT, and it really is just to keep you guys, you know, focused on keeping everything together. I find that when we have a binder for something like this, it just makes it easier to go back to. And if you eventually decide to teach this to your team, it's great to have the outline of what you went through yourself and things that you want to change or tweak or put your own personal twist into it. So, you know, that's where I wanted you to start. And one of the things that I really enjoy myself, and I'm going to be using it quite often, which is why I asked you to print some of these things off, you know, the 3-Star Playbook. I really love that. And I know the 90-day game plan is fantastic, and we are going to talk about that. Do I feel you need both? No, I mean, one is for great reason and the other one is also, but I just find that the 3-Star Playbook is just such a comprehensive look of what it takes to get to 3-star and above. And for those of you who are just getting started, you know, I don't like to confuse you with all the jargon and terms, but 3-star simply means a 6-figure income. So I'm just excited to see all of you get there, because that's, you know, my goal is to really help within the next 12 months, at least 10 people get to a 6-figure income, and I hope that you're one of them. So let's take a look at what our agreements are. Obviously, when we're doing a course like this, many of the questions are, what if I can't get on the actual live session every Wednesday? And clearly, I just broke that already, because here I am having to record it in advance. Sometimes I will have to record it and post it, because, you know, life is busy. Summer is very busy, and many of us have such varying schedules right now with vacations and things going on, kids' activities and such, that it's not always going to work. So that's why I really love that we can record this and you know, use it when we're able to. Now, as far as accountability and things, that again can be on your own terms. So, you know, there really isn't anything saying that you have to be a certain place at a certain time. But the agreements I really look for is, if you are missing the live session, please catch up and at least watch that hour or 45 minutes or whatever it is. Sometimes it might be a half hour. So, you know, that's one thing that I really expect, so that you're not so far behind 3 weeks later and asking for some help in a group or another group, and then meanwhile, you know, our course actually covered those questions. So just be respectful. If you're in this group, you're in it for a reason. And I really hope that you will take a look at the videos and not just kind of skip over them when you miss them. We've got 7 days. Every single one of us has 7 days to catch up. So let's do that so that every week we're fresh and ready for the next session. As far as, other agreements, clearly, we're all here to help each other. Please don't think that I'm the only one that can help you. That's why that group is there. I really want every one of us to step in and really encourage and support one another as we continue to grow through this. And remember, there are some people in there that are brand new and others who have been here a little while. So we love that we can help each other no matter where we're at. Other agreements, obviously, have fun with this, because the day this becomes boring or stressful is the day that it's not going to continue. So, let's really look at it as this is a tool to help us, but it's also something that we want to continue to really be free and have fun with as well, and be creative. So some of the things I might share with you, you might not really enjoy or like, and you might have questions about it. Maybe you have a twist that you can make. I know many of us have different personalities, and something I'm not going to cover, but many of us can do this, are the colors. We all have different personalities, and I'm certainly not the funniest person. I wish I was, but there are times where I'd love to see some humor within our group, and let's just keep it light and fun and really make it about everyone, not just, I'm certainly not the boss, and I never want to be, so please don't ever think that I know it all or anything like that. It's all about everyone contributing, and I just really love that we can agree to that. Obviously, the purpose I've touched on a bit. This whole idea of staying consistent through the summer is so huge. And I know that for me, this business would not be where it is today if I stopped and took off the whole summer. I mean, the one thing I love about this business is that I can stop and take vacation and unplug whenever I want to. I don't have to ask a boss for time off. I don't have to, make sure that it works for my coworkers that I'm off, and taking a day away last minute when maybe I didn't have a lot of appointments booked, or I was able to schedule something different to fit in my family time. The whole point of what we're doing today is to make time for freedom tomorrow. So if you're looking for a freedom future, and I don't know what that looks like for you, but I do hope that I receive those new associate interviews as requested, because when I know your goals and when I know where you're headed in your own mindset, I can help you more than I can if I don't know what your dreams and goals are. So, the whole purpose of this is to really help each person catapult to the next place, and also stay consistent through the summer and really build that amazing foundation that you guys deserve to have, so that you can tomorrow take time off anytime you want, or possibly quit the job that you're not enjoying. Some of you might love your job, and that might not even be what you're looking to accomplish, but for some of you, it might be. So, the whole purpose right now is to set you up for a place of really having that freedom to choose later. So as far as action, we are going to talk a little bit tonight about the next steps that we're going to take, but we're also going to see a quick glimpse of some of the tools that we're going to use as well. So before I do that, I'm just going to go through the rest of this presentation, and then I'm going to show you a couple different websites we're going to use. So number one, obviously this is one of the areas that we are going to focus on, and that's why I asked you to fill out and keep for yourself your, what was it called? The baseline questionnaire. So if you haven't done that yet, maybe pause this right now, go into that Facebook group and go in and download from the group the baseline questionnaire. And I want you to really be honest about it. I don't want to see a bunch of ones in belief. So 1 to 10, 10 being the highest. If you've got a really low level of belief in something, such as network marketing, for example, that was my lowest when I got started. We can get that level of belief up to a 10 out of 10 in 7 days. So we don't want to waste a lot of time here. We just want to be really honest with ourselves. Where does your belief lie in all of these areas? And then we want to make sure that we increase your level of belief within the next 7 days, so that you can really become unstoppable. Because when your belief is low, chances are you're one conversation away from quitting. And we don't want that to happen, because you deserve this life, and I know you do, because I've obviously enjoyed every part of this journey. And believe me, I know that when my belief was low, I was really close to quitting many times. So the more we can get that belief level up for everybody, the better. And we're gonna, I'll walk you through some of those tools. Now, this is really important. I find that, again, I don't want you to compare to Susan, but this is really interesting. I found that when I saw numbers like this, it made me realize that this is possible for every single one of us. And you're going to see my numbers next, but I like to be really transparent. And I think that's a really key thing, is that we all want to be transparent. And I think that even if you're just getting started, I hope you will start to track your earnings, because, as you're training your own team, whether it's this month, next year, 5 years from now, you want to be transparent about where you started. Now, obviously, Susan's numbers are quite high in comparison to many people that get started, but keep in mind, Susan had a lot of background in network marketing. So she had a big skill set as far as, connecting with people, prospecting, closing, all that kind of thing. So, $50,000 in her first year is pretty amazing. So anyway, taking a look at those numbers, awesome. We don't have the updated numbers at this point for the last few years, but I mean, we're going in a positive direction there, as you can see, and it's quite positive. Susan is, clearly one of the most amazing leaders in our company, and I'm so grateful that we're part of her team. But please don't get discouraged by her numbers either. I just want to use this for an idea of, this is how growth happens. Now, when we look at my numbers, they're quite different. But, here's the idea of, when I think about it, where I said that some people put a year on their timeline. And I've had people come to me and say, well, if I'm not making X, Y, Z by a year from now, I'm quitting. And it's happened. I've actually seen people quit. And it doesn't matter how much I show them this kind of thing or not. Some people just clearly don't have the belief, and they haven't invested in the time to raise their belief. So we can't convince people. And the last thing I ever want to do is to see any of you quit. But at the same time, as much as I can try to hold you accountable and be that person, I can't drag you through this. I can't pull you, I can't force you, and I can certainly not convince you. It really all starts within us. So here I am, September 2009, actually yesterday, July 7th, was the day that I started ordering the products in 2009. And for the whole summer, I actually shelved my products, did not enjoy them at all. I was very toxic. I had no idea that at the time, the more toxic you are, the more things don't taste very good. So keep that in mind. If people are saying, ew, everything tastes really bad, chances are they are toxic. Now, how do you tell someone that? I am so glad that someone told me that, because what I did about it at that time, when I heard that it could be my toxicity levels, I thought, you know what, I'm going to try it again, and I'm going to do it every single day, no matter how bad it tastes. And September 2009 was the month that I did that. And within that month, I remember, being really interested in the training and learning a bit more about how to introduce people to it and such. And that's when I started having my first launch parties or in-homes. And, October, I became a consultant. So it just simply means one person on the left and one person on the right that I personally sponsored. So there you go, the first full year. So 2010, from January right through to December, I earned $7,100, which covered my products and a bit more. But for those of you who know my story, it took my husband 18 months to really get on board. So pretty much right until sometime in 2011, when I was starting to make a little bit more money each week, he wasn't really 100% supportive and really didn't understand my passion about this, because I had tried other companies, and, in his defense, he did not want to see me fail. So anyway, as you can see, 2011, I continued to do the 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, held myself accountable. I had minimums, and again, those minimums were connecting with people every day, following up with people, and also getting to one event every month. Religiously, I went every single month. I made no excuse to get there. I made it work, and chances are many times I did not have my husband supporting me, so I had to get a babysitter for my 3 kids. And actually, 2011 was the year I had my 3rd baby in October. So there I went to my very first event in 2011 as well. My very first big event, I should say, because I was going to events every single month. But 2011 in August, I went to my first celebration, which was in San Diego. And I was, ready to pop my third baby at the time. I was on the plane and was quite pregnant, but went, and of course that changed the trajectory of my business clearly. 47,000 up to 102,000 the next year, with an infant at home and 2 other kids that were not full-time in school yet. So as you can see, continuing on, things have grown, and certainly I'm not investing so much time. I mean, this is still work and I'm very passionate about it, but I never feel like it's stressful work. This is all about what my choices are. What's hard would have been me sacrificing more time in a classroom with kids, with administration, with staff that treat me like crap, because that's really how I felt in the teaching profession. It wasn't a very positive place to be, which is an understatement. But, this is amazing when I think of the alternative and what I would have been doing right now. So I'm very grateful. Anyway, in the past 6 years, I've enrolled 130 people. Only approximately 25 to 30 are active right now. And that is something that I want everyone to really get. We have about an 80 to 90% failure rate. And if you can get used to that and be okay with that, that means 9 out of 10 people that you ever share Isagenix with will say no. 8 to 9 out of 10 people might start and quit. You might have a couple of people out of 10 that will actually be interested in the business and will continue long term. It's a very low percentage when I look at the success, but with that 10 to 20% success rate, the possibilities are truly endless. And so I don't want anyone to get discouraged by that number of being, 80 to 90% failure rate. I've never seen a business that you can fail that often, but still succeed so incredibly. So, currently I've got about 8 to 10 people that are serious to build a business, and those are my personally enrolled members. About 14, and it changes every once in a while. Of course, there's those ups and downs. Currently, though, today, 14 active consultants I have currently, 2 of which have reached executive, which I haven't shared in this slide. And currently, our team is over 12,000 members today. So, that's major growth. I helped personally 130, only about 25 to 30 are active currently, and there's currently over 12,000 members. That is crazy stuff. And this is how I did it. Year 1, 8 hours a week. Year 2, this is Susan Sly's numbers. So just so that everyone understands, these are Susan Sly's numbers. Year 1, 8 hours a week. Year 2, she did 15 hours a week. Year 3 onward, she did 15 to 20 hours a week. I think I even saw a slide that sometimes she's up to 30 hours a week. But today her income per hour, now this is actually about a year old, this slide. So, $1,500 an hour. Her time is valuable. So I just look at this and I think, you know what, if she can do it, any of us can do it. Because if one person can prove it to be possible, it's possible for us all. We just have to be committed and ready to continue to learn, continue to grow, and continue to challenge ourselves. So, just this reminder again, it is going to take effort. It's work, it's network marketing for a reason. It is work, but it's fun work, in my opinion, when I look at the alternatives. By 2 to 4 years, you got the ball rolling. We look at, that as an average. Certainly not everyone's going to get there, but those who are determined and dedicated and have 100% belief in what they're doing are going to get there within 2 to 4 years. And then, of course, the critical mass, where you take your foot off the gas and you start to coast a bit more. And literally, you could walk away, for a couple weeks, a month, go travel, and your residual income continues to grow. And that's really a beautiful thing. So I'm going to say see you next week because we are running out of some time here. But this is so true. How you see your future is much more important than what happened in your past. So if you're currently coming from a place of struggle, of feeling like you are trading your time constantly for the money that you're making, Or if you're feeling really defeated because maybe you haven't been able to find a career in your chosen field, or you've got to travel far to get to work, or you never see your family, you never get a chance to have vacation because you're limited on the vacation time that you have. If you're looking at that and you're dwelling on where you are currently or your past and what has happened to you, please start looking forward to your future, because we have so much opportunity here. And truly and honestly, every single one of you can make this your success path. You really can. And I'm here to help you with that, because I truly believe in every single one of you, and I know that we all have it within ourselves. But the one person that stops us is ourself. So be aware of that. That's why I really wanted you to check out that attitude sheet and print that off, sign it, date it for yourself, because it really starts with our own attitude. And all those things that go along with it. When our attitude's great about where we're headed, we start to attract like-minded people. If we're down in the dumps and depressed and upset and constantly defeated, then everyone around us is going to be the same way. You need to show up as that leader that you want to attract. And for some of you, it might feel like a stretch because you are in a deep, dark place. I know if I look back on my own diary from the year that I started Isagenix, I was in a dark place. I was not the person that I thought Tara was going to be. I was sad. I was really going through a tough time. And I am just so grateful that I had my eyes open at the time, looking for another way. And I was not looking for a business. I just wanted to feel better with the products. That's all I had in me, just to feel better than I did yesterday. And thankfully, when I did decide to commit and stay consistent with it every single day, that's when my life changed for the best. So with that, guys, I just want to really say, go out, start really embracing this. We are going to talk about skills next week, but I want you to just see what is possible for you. I'm going to be sharing a few other things on the web, or not on the website, on the Facebook group over the week, so that you can stay in momentum, stay in that place. But let me know if you want to do the accountability portion or not. If not, no big deal. I'm not judging you. This is not about judgment. This is not about any expectations from me. This is a tool for you. And if you want the accountability, please just connect with me personally and let me know what that looks like for you. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not going to tell you, you're not worthy if you don't do it. I just simply want to be here as your partner, to hold that hand in a sense, not to drag you, but to hold that hand to say, awesome, way to go. Thank you for committing to your goals, because that's what this is all about, committing to yourself. So with that, guys, I hope this worked, and I look forward to connecting with you over the week, and we will be in touch about next week's session. Hopefully 9 o'clock will work, and I didn't double book next week, but I look forward to connecting with you again soon. And feel free to use that group for any questions, comments, concerns, anything at all. We're all in there to help you. All right, take care, guys.